Hi friends, another great lore video for you in Apex Legends. This is how all of the legends were connected before they joined the Apex games. I've created this special graphic to draw the lines between the legends and show how they're all connected. You can see predominantly this is focused on the legends lore connections before they join the game, and I'll talk you through this graphic and show you how the legends are connected. I've obviously put the event in the middle because I feel like that was the one big thing that connects all of the legends, and it's kind of at the core of what brought them together, or at least a good chunk of them. In the very middle you can see Ash and Pathfinder are heavily tied to the event. In fact, they're the only two that were actually there. Ash obviously in her human form, and Pathfinder was in fact created in the compound where the event took place, and was a key factor in the event actually happening. If you don't know what the event is, in summary, it's a phase run explosion that happened on Olympus and was all about Baranthium. If you want to know more, you can check out the lore videos on my channel. Now the Baranthium part is linked to Horizon, hence the connection above. You see, Horizon discovered Baranthium as a solution to the energy crisis in the Outlands, and Ash was her assistant, but betrayed Horizon by leaving her stranded in space after Horizon made the Baranthium discovery. I say Ash, it was actually Ash in her human form as Dr. Ashley Reed. As Horizon Sun was working at the compound where the event took place, and actually previously before the event, that whole compound was all about refining Baranthium. That meant Newton did help create Pathfinder, and most of the High Friends personality in Pathfinder does come from Newton, and so that's the connection between Horizon, Ash, and Pathfinder, and also the event. Looking at the connection under the event, we see Watson and Gibraltar, and that's because their grandparents, Amelie Paquette and Aleki Gibraltar, were the scientists that were part of the group working on refining Baranthium. They were also the ones that sent the Baranthium across the Outlands after successfully refining it to help save the people of the Outlands. Plus they also sacrificed themselves and caused the event in a way to stop Ash and the mercenaries getting hold of it. Moreover, Watson's grandmother is the one that stabbed human Ash with her own sword, which led to Ash becoming a simulacrum. So all of these things are tied all around the event. We then can see some little offshoots between these characters involved in the event and how they connect to the other legends. Look to the right of Ash, and you can see that as a human, she used to babysit Octane and Lifeline's parent, who used to run around and play in the compound before the event took place. We also know Lifeline and Octane are childhood best friends. They grew up together on Olympus and often got into all kinds of trouble together. Both also share some disdain for their parents. If you follow the line from Octane now, we get to see Octane is connected to Catalyst, and this is a bit more of a recent part of the lore, but we do know Octane's father, or actually his grandfather we should say, Torres da Silva, worked with Octane and Seer to bring the Apex games to Boreas, and more specifically the moon Clio, and this led to all of the workers on Clio being fired, including Catalyst and her friends. So in a way, Octane and Torres Silva caused Catalyst to join the games, and that's how they're connected. You can see Octane is also linked to Mad Maggie because his grandfather, Torres da Silva, is the one that framed Mad Maggie and led to her being in the games, and he also framed her for the fall of Olympus and all of that action around it. Let's not forget Mad Maggie is linked to Fuse as well because they grew up together as childhood best friends, kind of like Octane and Lifeline did. We know Mad Maggie and Fuse would go on to become fairly successful warlords on Salvo before having a falling out where Mad Maggie would blow off Fuse's arm. Going back to Catalyst, we can see she's linked to Seer. I mentioned Boreas, and it's because they're both from Boreas, plus they've also got the same agenda of trying to save Boreas and its people. We also see Seer has a connection to Rampart. You see, both had a fairly successful career on the arenas circuit before they joined the Apex games. Rampart has quite a few connections. You can see she's connected to Valkyrie because not only is she a friend of Valkyrie, Valkyrie is also a big customer for Rampart because Rampart designed Valkyrie's modded wings, which allow her to fly with her jump jets. We also know Valkyrie is connected to Ash through her father Viper. Viper and Ash both served on the Apex Predators working for Cuban Blisk during the Frontier Wars. Going back to Rampart's connections, we see she's also friends with Gibraltar and Bangalore. Both visited her shop back on Gaia before it was set on fire and destroyed. Bangalore also commissioned a modded weapon from Rampart. If we follow the link on from Bangalore, we see she's connected to Wraith. This is more of of a dotted line connection because it's not actually the Wraith we've got today, it was Voidwalker Wraith. You see, when Bangalore was trying to get information on Jackson, that's the exact moment when Voidwalker Wraith broke into Sing Labs to hack the systems to get information. We know Wraith and Natalie know each other as well before the games because Natalie grew up on Solace, and for a while she thought Wraith was a ghost in Sing Labs, and they've been friends for a long time. Of course, Bangalore and Jackson are connected because they're brother and sister. They came to the Outlands together after Bangalore was injured in the Frontier War, and their ship then crash landed on Gaia. They even faced down a pilot together. Unfortunately, Jackson was later lost in space, but they managed to reconnect as Jackson was joining the Apex Games. You can also see Crypto is connected to Bangalore, and that's because he helped her on her quest to find her brother Jackson in between the period of him going missing and her connecting with him again when he joined the Apex Games. An extra connection from Crypto you might not know about is he also helped Voidwalker Wraith hack into the IMC labs when she was trying to get the information on Amir Singh, because you can see his logo in the Voidwalker Wraith cinematic, which loads of people missed. If we follow the line from Crypto now, we see he's connected to Caustic because Caustic's mother, Mystic, found Crypto on the streets and raised him as her own, as an adopted son, so in a way they're kind of brothers. This path from Caustic then leads to Pathfinder because Pathfinder's inadvertently a witness of Caustic's setting Humbert Labs on fire and faking his own death. There's also a Maldera connection there because Victor Maldera was hunting Caustic and wanted to use Pathfinder's memory bank to help him find Caustic. And speaking of Victor Maldera and Pathfinder, we also know Pathfinder witnessed Revenant murdering what I believe are Loba's parents. And that leads to a connection between Revenant and Loba, obviously because Revenant killed Loba's parents and she swore revenge on him. That day is also partly why Revenant is in the Apex Games, because the glass shard is what ruptured his memory and caused him to remember everything. If we follow the line back to Pathfinder, we get our final set of connections if we look up to Mirage, and that's because Mirage is the one that suggested to Pathfinder he join the Apex Games. You see, one day when Pathfinder was at Mirage's Solace bar, Pathfinder was the one that suggested he join the games because he thought people were taking advantage of Pathfinder by using his services in exchange for information, except they never really gave him much information, and instead they were just using Pathfinder to do chores like clean windows or babysitting. And therefore Mirage thought joining the Apex Games would be a more effective way for Pathfinder to get the information he wanted on his creators. We know Mirage and Bloodhound are connected through their mothers. You see, they both used to work together on Talos before the Branthium reactor exploded, leading to that mass freezing which killed Bloodhound's parents. The final connection is more of a theoretical one for now, but I'm thinking Vantage and Bloodhound were raised as hunters and there must be a connection there in their heritage, and I'm thinking Boone could be that connection. Obviously Bloodhound knew Boone, they were very close, and Boone is the reason Bloodhound joined the Apex Games. Now my theory is that Vantage's mother also knew Boone. Perhaps they learned to hunt together or something like that. I also feel like Vantage might be linked to another legend, one that had a role in setting up her mother all those years ago. Ultimately, I think this all links back to the origins of the event and the connection between the core legends there. And finally, for the last connection, let's not forget everyone's favourite non-legend, Cuban Blisk. He basically sits above all of this, and everyone is in theory connected to him because as the Apex Games commissioner, I imagine he has a say in everyone that joins the Apex Games, and most likely has a background profile on all of the legends, some of which he even recruited himself, such as Rampart. So that's all of the connections before the legends joined the Apex Games that I could come up with. Let me know in the comments if you can think of any more connections before the Apex Games between these legends. For now though, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you later.